This is the 200th game review on Colorshed Productions. Thank you all so much for watching, everyone. Next stop, 300. The day the PlayStation 3 launched, Polyphony Digital already had something to showcase for the system with Gran Turismo HD Concept, which was originally a precursor to Gran Turismo HD, which I already talked about in that review. But they decided to scrap everything and put total focus on Gran Turismo 5 and its portable spin-off. Gran Turismo 5 Prologue was announced at next year's E3 as a way to provide a taste of what fans would expect from the PS3 graphically and content-wise, including new circuits, cars, and online multiplayer. The latter seemed like a long-time eventuality. They tried it with Gran Turismo 4 in 2006, but this was the first worldwide release to implement it, because even Polyphony had a difficult time trying to comprehend the complexities of the system's hardware, which caused a lot of delays, as well as also focusing on the PSP spin-off, not wanting to let another developer make it themselves. Released on December 2007 in Japan and the rest of the world by April 2008, I do remember playing this at an electronics store once. I wasn't sure if it was a demo of the prologue or the full game because there isn't much here anyway. But because I didn't get a PlayStation 3 until late 2009, and a year later, I got Gran Turismo 5, so why would I bother buying the prologue as well? Doing a separate review of Gran Turismo 5 Prologue, I was worried I was going to talk about things that would be more suitable for a Gran Turismo 5 re-review. GT5 obviously introduces more features to the series, including dynamic time and weather and licensed championships, but things like driving mechanics and graphics are pretty similar. I'm here to talk mostly about the structure as a prologue title, and what that game introduced that would get fans excited for Gran Turismo 5 and whether it would have been worth buying back in 2008. Another reason I'm doing this is because it gives me an excuse to show off this press kit, which was originally given out at the Nissan PlayStation GT Academy launch at the Nürburgring in 2008. Thank you, Lance McDonald, for finding this at an op shop for just $5, an extremely good find, even if it isn't 100% complete. I've had it for a few years now and I still can't believe this is in my collection. It includes Gran Turismo 5 Prologue, obviously, but this one says review copy, which is basically the standard game, and it can be patched with the latest updates. A media information disc, which includes images and videos used to create your own thumbnails, wallpapers, trailers, online articles, that sort of thing. In fact, the thumbnail for this video uses assets from that disc actually. Also included are image cards of some of the car models in the game, which look really nice. Though this might be the last time I'll take these out of the packaging because I want to keep these in the best possible condition. The only thing missing is a welcome letter from Kazunori Yamauchi, but I suppose the op shop wouldn't be valuing it at $5 if they knew what it really was, right? Probably to them it's a special edition of a Gran Turismo demo, which doesn't sound that special when you say it out loud to a non-racing fan, right? The menus feel more like an online hub. It's called My Page, which has everything in one menu, and you can tell they tried to encourage the online features since they're the first options. News included updates of online events, server maintenance, just online updates basically. The GT TV was a VOD service for anything motor related, including new cars, trailers, even episodes of Top Gear, and of course online races and time trials with up to 16 players and a ranking board. That's the best description I can make. I'm just using the images from the media information disc because being 16 years later, the servers are shut down, so none of those features work now. The GT TV feature only has the opening video. There was a similar service planned for Gran Turismo PSP so you can watch this type of content on the go, but it wasn't meant to be. But the stars of the show, no matter what the Gran Turismo title, are the cars themselves. They have a higher polygon count even compared to GT HD Concept. They look more like they're set for the 7th generation. It certainly grabbed my attention playing this at an electronics store in 2008. And if you leave My Page idle, the interface disappears and you get a shot of your car from your garage in a neat location. This is the first Gran Turismo title to have interior views, which back then I found really cool. Previous generations of racing games usually had only the front bumper or maybe the interior without the steering wheel, at least on consoles anyway. But seeing the dashboards working accurately, the hand changing gears, I really loved that. And today I actually find it easier to control the cars this way because the stiff chase cam is terrible as usual. All cars have their own interiors, all 71 of them post updates. So not even 100, but at least they've all been given the most attention to detail as you can put in a car. Unlike GT5, which had 70% of its lineup recycled from GT4, but I'll mention that in a future GT5 re-review. And also with a few new cars and brands, even the first licensed Formula 1 car, the championship-winning Ferrari F2007. I'm a little disappointed we never got an official F1 game based off that season, or the next season for that matter. Now that I also think about it, almost none of the cars in the showroom are race modified. You're only driving and racing showroom models. But I guess if they wanted to showcase them from the exterior and interior, racing ones don't look as appealing by comparison. Graphically, it runs in an uninterrupted 60 frames per second in 1080p, which was the gold standard at the time. Runs very well without pushing the system too much. The lighting effects are top notch. Like, look at the reflection when driving through a tunnel and then out of it. Ooh, that's nice. Though the default settings, it feels low in brightness and high in contrast, particularly when the sun shines hard, so the lighting and colors on screen make it look grainier than the Forza titles on the Xbox 360, which ages the game just a touch. But at least it looks more vibrant compared to GT4. I don't know, looking at circuits like Twin Ring Montague, Fuji Speedway in that game, the saturation feels like it's been turned down. Most of the circuits are returning ones looking only slightly different, like High Speed Ring, Fuji Speedway, Suzuka circuits, Eiger Nord ones, even that has a few alterations compared to GT Concept. And a couple of new ones including London Circuit and Daytona Raceway. In fact, I literally just listed every circuit in this game, so there aren't many. Certainly better than just one, but as you advance through the events, even with the reverse variations, it can feel tedious racing on the same track over and over again. I wish Tokyo R246, Grand Valley Speedway, or Special Stage Route 5 were here as well. Feels weird to have a Gran Turismo game without them. Not disappointed or anything, because they would return in GT5, just odd. It has the type of events you'd expect from a Gran Turismo mode, based on categories like drivetrain, manufacturer, etc. But ordered in a way like trying to pass a license test. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like that you can just buy a car and go racing straight away. So what if I can't drive around an oval on the first attempt? The real driving simulator, everyone. You could say it's a Gran Turismo mode with a few challenges based off the predecessor, but only 5% of what you'd expect from a main installment. What does annoy me is how even the earliest events require a specific car to compete in, because you feel less compelled to buy another one you want because you don't want to find yourself redoing the same event again. That specific car could also be handy for the other events, like this Suzuki Cappuccino, which is needed for this time trial challenge but is also useful for the lightweight challenge, or this Mitsubishi Evo 9 needed for the time trial challenge in the B class. It's also permitted in the four-wheel drive challenge. Point is, it limits what you want to buy from the dealership unless you're willing to redo the same event over and over again, which for a prologue, it's ridiculous to even consider that an option. I understand car collecting isn't a top priority because there aren't many, it's not a main game, but you want to encourage the player to drive as many of the different cars as you got. I suppose that's what the manufacturer-based events are for. The time trial and driving missions in Spy 1s are also very difficult. Like, if you think it's going to be just racing opponents, upgrade them if you're struggling, move on, no questions asked, well, think again, because 1, cars don't have upgrade options, and 2, the time limits and number of opponents you need to overtake in just a single lap is brutal, at least when you're trying to go for the gold, especially as the top 2 opponents love to jump the start. I mean, what else does it look like? That's one way to demonstrate the number of opponents you can put on the track compared to the earlier games where you only had 6 on the track at once, I suppose. Like Gran Turismo HD Concept, because GT5 is already out today, there's no point going back to this game because everything here you can just get from GT5 anyway. And then some, which is an understatement. In some ways this reminds me of Gran Turismo 3, a title in the series where the vehicle count was low compared to its predecessor, but it served as a solid showcase for the PS3 graphically, early in the system's lifecycle before the main event a couple of years from now. And considering this is the second highest selling exclusive on the PlayStation 3, PS3, only behind, well, Gran Turismo 5, fans were certainly keen to see what Polyphony had in store. This also makes it one of the easiest games to find at second-hand stores. Whenever you see a pile of PS3 titles, I guarantee you GT5 Prologue will be in there somewhere. Hell, this press kit was only $5, which says it all, really. But now that I have both spin-off titles covered, the next step is returning to the main installment. As the last couple of titles demonstrated, expect another 30-minute video in the near future, which really will be the drive of my life. Thanks everyone on Patreon, including Anthony Cossins, Bibbs, Brittleback, Cooper Munn, Darcy McIntosh, Dylan Hannigan, Emmanuel Figueroa, Eric Barboza, Atmosphere, Nightkid Gaming, Peter GT, Roman Artemanov, Ruben Perkolk, Sam Sneed, Stefano Stevo, Tickford45, and Thomas Rosendale, as well as everyone watching this review, the 200th one as well. That is a huge number of game and console reviews on this channel. I mean, it only took about, 9 years? Also can't believe we're not that far away from the channel's 10th anniversary as well. We really need to do something when that date comes, February 23rd, 2025. Anyway, the next review is going to be another big one. Again, now that the prologue titles for GT5 are out of the way, I'm finally going to re-review it. But for now, don't forget to also like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, support on Patreon, join the Discord server, follow on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks again for watching. Spenny out.